Hello, we meet again in the VNews broadcast daily, and following are today's top stories.
Vietnam-Russia further develop defense ties. First green hydropower plant operational. Vietnam's export hits $18.97 billion in 2 months.
President Trương Tấn Sang has said together with Russia, Vietnam will make all efforts to continue developing bilateral relations in a deep and effective manner in all fields.
Sang made the statement at a reception in Hanoi on March 5th for Russian Defense Minister General Sergei Shoigu. The minister is now on a working visit to Vietnam for the first time since he took up the ministerial position last November. The president highly valued the outcomes of the talks between Shoigu and his Vietnamese counterpart General Phùng Quang Thanh. He said he believed that the visit will contribute practically to boosting the bilateral multifaceted cooperation. Over the past years, despite the difference in political mechanisms, the two countries' cooperation has been effective and enjoy fine development in line with the comprehensive strategic partnership and each nation's interests, Sang said. He added, Vietnam is always grateful to the former Soviet Union and Russia for their wholehearted and effective assistance. The Vietnamese leader expressed his hope that in his new position, Shoigu will contribute to strengthening the two sides' defense cooperation. Shoigu affirmed that he will do his utmost to effectively implement signed cooperation agreements on military and military technology.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has told Hungarian Minister of Human Resources Balogh Zoltán that Vietnam wants to further strengthen ties with Hungary in education and training, science and technology, health, environment protection and human resource.
At a reception for the visiting Hungarian minister in Hanoi on March 4th, Dũng affirmed that Vietnam treasures the friendship and cooperation with Hungary and will closely with the European nation to deepen their all-around ties for the development of both countries. Dũng described Zoltán's visit as an important step to boost multifaceted cooperation between the two countries. He also said Vietnamese people always remember the support that Hungary offered to Vietnam during its fight for national liberation and reunification. The Prime Minister expressed his hope that Hungary will increase the number of scholarships for Vietnamese students, open more training centers in Vietnam, and speed up the progress of cooperation projects agreed by both countries. In reply, Zoltán said Hungary hopes to foster cooperation with Vietnam in all fields, especially in economics, trade, investment, education and training, agriculture and health. He affirmed that in the future, his country will continue raising the number of scholarships for Vietnamese students. Hungary is willing to share its experience with Vietnam in agricultural development, healthcare, education and environmental protection. With an already sound friendship, cooperation potential and joint efforts, Vietnam and Hungary could continue to enjoy fruitful cooperation in the future, said the minister.
Party Politburo member Lê Hồng Anh received General Secretary of the Portuguese Communist Party, Jerónimo Carvalho de Sousa, in Hanoi on March 4th.
Anh, who is also standing member of the Communist Party of Vietnam's Central Committee Secretariat, stressed his desire to strengthen friendship and cooperation between the parties, countries and peoples of Vietnam and Portugal. He hailed Sousa's visit as a vivid manifestation of the traditional friendship and cooperation between the two parties and peoples. Informing the guests of the country's renewal, socialism building and its diplomatic policy of independence, self-mastery and openness, Anh affirmed that the Communist Party of Vietnam treasures ties with fraternal and traditional friendly countries. Sousa pledged to make every effort to promote close relations and trustworthy links between the two parties in the time to come.
Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc has called for enhanced and mutually beneficial cooperation with Cambodia.
chairing a ceremony in Hanoi on March 4th to review the 2012 Vietnam-Cambodian Friendship Year. Phuc held the successful activities such as the Vietnam-Cambodian Investment Cooperation Conference in Kiên Giang Province and the 45th anniversary of bilateral diplomatic ties. A friendship cooperation conference between the Vietnamese and Cambodian legislatures were also held in 2012. The highlight of the year were activities to support students, boost cultural and economic exchanges, and delegation exchanges between the two countries' localities. Events during the 2012 Vietnam-Cambodia Friendship Year were partly to celebrate the 45th anniversary of diplomatic ties and to strengthen the fine neighborliness, traditional friendship, comprehensive cooperation, and long-term sustainability between the two countries.
The Chiêm Hóa Green Hydropower Plant in Tuyên Quang Province, the first of its kind in Vietnam, went operational on March 4th.
The 48-megawatt plant was funded by International Investment, Construction and Trade Company. Its construction began in 2009 under the engineering, procurement, construction method. The $83 million facility has 3 turbines. The plant is expected to produce nearly 200 million kilowatts per hour of electricity for the national grid. Addressing the event, Deputy Prime Minister Hoàng Trung Hải requested the investor to work closely with the Provincial Department of Agriculture and Rural Development to regulate water resources in the dry season, protect dams, cope with floods, and devise contingency plans. The investor was also asked to pay attention to personnel training to have the plant operate smoothly.
Vietnam recorded an impressive export turnover of $18.97 billion in the first 2 months of 2013, which reflected a year-on-year increase of 23.9%.
Of the figure, the export of foreign invested businesses, excluding crude oil, was $11 billion, up 27.5%, according to the Import-Export Department under the Ministry of Industry and Trade. In February, the country's export reached $7.5 billion, down 34.6% from the previous month and 9.2% year-on-year due to the 9-day-long Lunar New Year festival. Mobile phones and bags were the largest foreign currency earners during the period. The ministry's statistics also showed that Vietnam enjoyed a 2-month trade surplus of over $1.67 billion, equivalent to 8.8% of the total export turnover. To fulfill 2013 export targets, the Ministry of Industry and Trade will focus on the strengthening investment and simplifying administrative procedures relating the grant of certificate of origin. It will work hard to expand export markets and improve forecasts on domestic and foreign markets while stepping up border trade activities. According to Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade Hồ Thị Kim Thoa, the ministry will speed up trade promotion activities to have local businesses seek more partners.
The National Committee for HIV/AIDS, Drugs and Prostitution Control on March 5th organized an online conference to review its work in 2012 and set out tasks for this year. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc chaired the event.
In 2012 alone, more than 14,000 people nationwide were diagnosed with HIV, of whom 6,700 developed full-blown AIDS, including over 2,000 fatalities. It raised the total number of HIV carriers in Vietnam to 210,700 by the end of last year. The Ministry of Public Security reported that there are more than 172,000 drug addicts nationwide. Almost 47,000 drug addicts received detoxification last year, and methadone treatment has proved to be effective in drug addiction detoxification. Former drug addicts were assisted to reintegrate into society. The committee plans to reduce the number of drug addicts by 5% from last year's figure. It will improve the quality of antiretroviral treatment for HIV carriers and mother-to-child HIV transmission prevention services. It will also expand HIV test services and methadone treatment program.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.